I want to do the hardest things that nobody is willing to take on.
Let's shift towards the nonprofit world because I feel like half of my life is nonprofit work, not because I feel obligated to, because I'm passionate about it. You've been involved with the food bank, you've led the Carter Center. Talk to us kind of the journey and what I feel is like a calling of being integrated within the community beyond now that I'm not, well, we're all poor starving entrepreneurs at the early stage, but at some point you're like, hey, I've got to balance purpose and business
Yes.
from that standpoint. And I know that obviously in the culinary world, I don't know if I can pronounce it correctly, the Atlanta chapter of Les Dames d'Escoffier International. Tell us a little bit about that. And then also working at the food bank. And then we could talk a little about the Carter Center as well.
Yeah. So, and it all started with Shug, my great aunt, who I told you about at Women in Construction. He used to take me as a kid to go do these things. And so I got that bug early on, which I'm grateful for, to give back. La Dame d'Escoffier is an international group started by Carol Brock back in the 70s, who had a group of friends. And there was an organization called L'Ami d'Escoffier, which are the men. Augustus Escoffier was sort of the founder of new cuisine, essentially, one of the great grandfathers of the culinary world. And so it was the men of Escoffier. And so Carol gets together with her friends and she said, ladies, we're not going to have another supper club. We're going to form together and we will be La Dame d'Escoffier. And we're going to help women in food, beverage, and hospitality. And which was great. And that's what this, a woman's place has always been in the kitchen until it became a profession. And then all of a sudden it's the man's place in the kitchen. And we're breaking these barriers down. And so it is comprised of women in all different aspects of food, beverage, and hospitality. We raise money to provide scholarships to allow other women to go to school and do whatever they need to do to help grow. And it's a great mentorship program. It's just an incredible network of all kinds of people.
So that's perfect adjacency. I mean, it's exactly what you're doing. The slight adjacency is the food bank.
Yes.
Tell us your journey there. And I really don't think most people have any clue, especially now, how massive and how incredible of an impact the food bank is here, even relative to some of the biggest food banks in the entire country.
That's right.
This is absolutely mind-blowing.
It is unbelievable in distributing, 150 million pounds of food and unfortunately, and growing. So when I got involved with the food bank, I was first on the advisory board. Raymond Hook, I don't know if you know the business Capella Cheese, but it is like, there is no better cheese place, maybe on the planet, definitely not in Atlanta. He used to work for Annie Quatrano at Bacchanalia. He was her cheesemonger. And he and I became friends then. He came to me one day and said, hey, I'm on the advisory board of the food bank. Will you come work with us? And this is back in 2000. So I got involved and I was like, well, I could do cooking classes. So I started a series of simple abundance cooking classes at my store. And so it was a nonprofit. 100% of the proceeds went back to the food bank. So for the next 19, 20 years, I did classes for the food bank, which in turn became it essentially, so for every dollar that you donate to the food bank, it's $9 worth of food. And if you add all those things up, it was in the neighborhood of $2 million worth of contributions back in food, which is amazing. And it was an easy way for us to do that. So I was on the advisory board for a long time, then joined the governing board, wound up becoming vice chair of the governing board, then chaired the governing board. And during Bill Bowling's transition, so he was the founder of the Atlanta Community Food Bank and was ready to step down from that and do some other work. And so I led the search team to replace this 37-year founder, which is
always hard
thing to do. And statistics show that only very few people make it past 12 months or 18 months. But Cal Wade has been there now for a decade. He was our pick and he's done an incredible job, built an entirely new facility and has grown that business at least 4 times. Now, I say unfortunately grown it 4 times because the need is there. I said we should always be working towards going out of business, not getting bigger as a food bank, because we're just providing people to food who can't feed themselves, which is horrible. Great that we can do it and horrible that there is that need in our world.
So even a little bit further from the center is like the corner.
Yes.
And I've had the fortune of being on the board of counselors.
Yes,
It's very inspiring.
it
It's
is.
almost shocking every single board meeting how much global impact the Carter Center has.
Yes.
And most people don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Other than, okay, the president, Jimmy Carter, helped start another foundation. Okay, everybody has a foundation, right?
Mm.
But this is actually globally transformative in so many different areas. Can you get everybody a little bit of color of what goes on at the Carter Center, potentially how we can get involved, and what's some of the mind blowing work that has been accomplished?
Well, yes, and for the first thing, I would say bring your interns to I don't know if they're still gonna be here for the next meeting. Wait, we have a meeting in June,
June,
don't
there
we?
is. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Maybe we
so
can figure something out. It's a good idea.
yes. So the y'all could experience firsthand because at these board of counselors meetings that they happen quarterly, there'll be three different people from the Carter Center who talk about their works around the world. Generally, one's around elections, one's around disease eradication, and one may be around mental health. But the Carter Center has over 3,500 employees. The majority of them are global. I think 100 plus are here in Atlanta. And they have made it their mission to do the hard work that no one else is willing to do. So one of the keystones for Jimmy Carter was that President Carter, he said, if somebody else is working on this, I don't want to do it. I want to do the hardest things that nobody is willing to take on. And so that really is pretty incredible that they've done that and very successfully for 50 years now, over 50 years.
Yeah, and now there's this passing of the guard because it's, again, you talk about
Yeah.
founder dilemma, and I've seen it with a lot of nonprofits that obviously it's the president. So if somebody says the president is on the phone, you're going to pick up.
Yeah.
And I think Jason is stepping into a big role.
Yes.
And
Well, Paige is an incredible
well, yeah, I mean,
CEO.
having a
Yeah.
CEO with Paige, and then the council, and then the committee. So there is a lot of momentum. Give us your kind of perspective of where you see the Carter Center going in the future, because
Yeah.
there's some massive shoes to fill.
Yes.
But President Carter had been behind the scenes more and more as he got older and older. And he passed away, was it last year? 2 years ago?
It was
Can't even
a year
remember.
ago, January.
And is just an incredible leader in sharing the word, opening up global doors, working with prime ministers of countries all around the world. What's your take? I know Paige has been incredible, but still,
Yeah,
there is founder's dilemma. How does that
there is.
transition?
And it's interesting too because they're shifting. The Carter Center never worked in the United States ever until the last year and a half, and they've started to do election observations in the United States in places that actually need it, which is a little frightening because their work was to do election observations in countries where they did
Globally.
not have a good democratic process and they were worried about people actually having their votes counted correctly. So the fact that that's happening in our country today is a little frightening. I think they'll continue their amazing work. I think they're down to what, 9 guinea worms
Yeah.
or 5 guinea worms at this point. So they're eradicating diseases and eradicating things around the world that are dangerous for people and really difficult. And so I don't think they'll stop doing that work. I hope they don't.
No.
And they're very focused on, so Rosalind Carter's, her whole focus was mental health. And she really did incredible work with that, and they are staying very involved in the mental health sphere. I hope they do. I hope they will. This is Mental Health Awareness Month, so good things there, and hopefully they won't have to get very much more involved in the United States with the complex work that they do. But if they do, I hope they will, because they're very, what's the word I'm looking for? I mean, they're down the middle. They're
Very nonpartisan.
thank you,
Yeah.
nonpartisan observers
Yes.
and doing good work without being swayed. And that was, I would think, President Carter, that was one of the best things about him. He was not willing to compromise on his morals and ethics and vision for making the world a better place.